Hello and welcome back to my podcast. My name is Justina, and today we are talking about habits. Not the 5 a.m. routine, perfect morning, never miss a day kind, but habits that actually fit into real human life. Because so many people don't struggle with starting habits, they struggle with keeping them, maintaining them, and not resenting them, and eventually burning out. So, today we are going to explore why habits fail, why burnout happens, what habits actually are, and how to build habits in a way that feels sustainable and not punishing. So, grab something you enjoy to eat or to drink, and let's begin. So, let's ask the question why most habits don't last. Most people think habit failure is a discipline problem, but it's not. It's actually a capacity problem. We try to build habits based on our ideal self, not our current energy, schedule, or nervous system. So we set the bar too high, go all in, rely on motivation, and then collapse. And when we stop, we blame ourselves. But the real issue is this: we confuse intensity with consistency. And I'm sure my story will not be super original, but the amount of times I told myself that I will start exercising every day and start eating healthy, but after a few weeks, um, I actually wasn't able to maintain it because I usually put too much pressure on myself and I try to change many things at the same time, and that's definitely not the way you should do it. So let's slow this down. A habit is simply a behavior that becomes automatic through repetition. It's not a willpower forever. It's about reducing decision fatigue. Research shows habits form through a loop: cue, behavior, reward. Your brain loves habits because they conserve energy. But here's what's important: habits stick when they feel safe and manageable. So, when a habit feels overwhelming, your brain resists it. That's not weakness, that's efficiency. So, burnout isn't just being tired. Burnout is a chronic stress without recovery. The World Health Organization defines burnout as emotional exhaustion, mental disease, or cynicism, or reduced effectiveness. I actually already have a video about burnout on my channel, so I will link it down below for you if you're interested to check it out. So, when you try to build habits from a burnout state, you're building on unstable ground. Your nervous system prioritizes survival, not growth. So, habit building fails not because you're incapable, but because your system is overloaded. So, I actually tried my best to fix my tired body by eating healthy, and I strongly believe in "you are what you eat" statement, but at a time where I was like stressed and overwhelmed and trying to change a lot of things at the same time, it was a lot easier to grab something unhealthy, and I felt too exhausted to actually cook a healthy meal and come up with like a healthy eating plan. I was just basically eating what was there. I was just grabbing random bits, basically. So, what is the biggest habit mistake? Building habits from shame. Shame based habits sound like: I need to fix myself. I'm behind. If I don't change now, I will fail. Shame can create urgency, but urgency is not sustainability. Research on self compassion shows that people are actually more consistent when they are kind to themselves after a failure. When habits are built from care instead of fear, they last longer. So, how to actually build habits without burnout? So, let's get practical. The first step is to start smaller than your ego wants. So, most habits fail because they're too big. Instead of working out 5 times a week, try move my body for 5 minutes. Small habits reduce resistance. Research shows tiny habits are more sustainable because they require less activation energy. So, my small win was definitely trying to add fresh fruit and vegetables into my diet. They don't have to be cooked and can be eaten on the go. And they definitely have more nutrients than the food I was eating, so it definitely made a big difference to my diet. The second step is to build habits around identity, not pressure. So instead of I need to journal every day, try I am someone who reflects. Identity based habits stick longer because you're not forcing behavior, you are reinforcing who you believe you are. The third step is to leave room for fluctuation. Consistency doesn't mean daily perfection, it means returning. Missing one day doesn't break a habit, quitting does. Allowing flexibility prevents all or nothing burnout. The fourth step is to protect recovery. Habits require energy, and energy requires rest. Chronic stress reduces executive function, the part of the brain responsible for planning and self control. If you want better habits, protect your sleep, downtime, and mental space. And the fifth step is to build habits that reduce stress, not add to it. So ask yourself, does this habit support my nervous system, or is it another performance metric? If it feels like punishment, it won't last. So, as always, I have a few questions for you. So, you can write them down and you can answer them in your free time. So, the first question is, which of my habits are built from shame and which are built from care? What feels sustainable for my current season? And the last question is, where am I trying to be impressive instead of consistent? And of course, I have a daily practice for you. And this week, choose one habit and make it 50% smaller and 50% kinder. Notice how that changes your resistance. And of course, I have an affirmation for you. And this week's affirmation is I build habits that support my life. As we come to the end of today's episode, I want you to remember that if you're burned out and trying to improve yourself, you're not failing at growth. You're just trying to grow faster than your nervous system can handle. Better habits aren't built through force, they are built through safety, repetition, patience, and self trust. And the most sustainable habits you can build is learning how to come back without shame. Thank you for listening to today's episode and thank you for spending your time with me today. I really, really appreciate it. And see you in my next episode. Thank you, see you, and bye.